What's up, everybody? FTWitachiPlays here, back at it again. We are here to watch some more BlizzCon. So, I've basically continued to save every video that is possibly getting released. We watched some of the BlizzCon event yesterday during the live stream, and then we played some Overwatch. I am now going to watch some more BlizzCon, but mainly I think things from yesterday, maybe a little bit of today. And we'll play some World of Warcraft. I'm not 100% sure what we're going to do in World of Warcraft just yet, but I think I might be leveling up an alt just because my main's done for the week. But I might do something on my main for like a good 20 minutes. It just depends on how much BlizzCon we watch. So yesterday, as you guys know, for those of you that tuned in, I was watching the full BlizzCon stream on Twitch. They've taken it down. And I said yesterday, I had a feeling they were going to take it down. They took it down when I said they took it down. The only reason why I was able to watch it is because I had the page still up. So, for example, let's pretend this is the stream. I never took it up. I kept it on all day. And then I just paused it. And I was still able to go back to it and watch it. And then once I turned off my computer, closed it, and tried to go back to it, it was done. I knew they were going to private everything. So everything's privated. But now they've made actual VODs. And we've got them. Not everything's been released yet. There's a couple things from BlizzCon Day 2 that have yet to be released, but we've got it. However, for Overwatch, I have to watch the whole freaking Day 1 and Day 2 video. Not really. I'm just going to go to where the panel is, which is where you can see the red bars like at a specific spot. Because they didn't release the actual like clips of the panels, but it is what it is. We're going to go ahead and react to some quick videos really quick. BlizzCon 2023, Day 1 highlights, The War Within Epic Edition, World of Warcraft, and then Mauga, Origin Story, Overwatch 2. And then we'll go ahead and do BlizzCon, The War Within, What's Next panel. The reason why I'm going to get rid of these little quick ones is because I haven't seen these yet. And then if you haven't noticed, I have World of Warcraft, then Overwatch, and Hearthstone, and Warcraft Rumble, and Diablo in that order. In fact, let's put Warcraft Rumble. That's the order of the games that I'm playing them in, so I don't play Diablo. I haven't played Hearthstone in years. But I might go back to those two games. And Warcraft Rumble, we are going to be playing soon. So stay tuned. But let's go ahead and get these videos sorted out. Bear with me here really quick. And then it sounds muted. I don't hear sound. Let me... It's still on. Interesting. Okay, I fixed it. Alright. Let's go the boring shit first. Alrighty, everybody. BlizzCon 2023 Day 1 highlights. Let's go.
The world needs your light again.
That was really cool to see, the Silver Sword. That statue was actually really nice.
Let's go!
Being in that crowd would piss me off. I hate crowds, bro.
Let's get into it.
That's huge, bro.
How's everybody doing? Having fun?
Catch up after 4 years away. Pull up a chair by the hearth. We'll see you in the tavern.
Very epic things can begin with small, heartfelt moments. BlizzCon as one! Whatever's coming, I'll stand with you.
I'm just going to say this. Keep this video short and sweet. It was only a minute and 20 roughly second video, so it's not really much to react to. But I do want to say thank you very much for Blizzard Entertainment for releasing everything that you have. for the past roughly 18, almost 19 years of me playing Blizzard Entertainment games. It's probably 25 plus more years, not on top of the 19, but 25 plus years that I've known about Blizzard because my brother used to play StarCraft and Diablo. But he doesn't play video games anymore. He doesn't really know anything about video games or gaming in general. But he didn't really get me into it. I just remembered one day I was playing World of Warcraft and I was like, oh, that StarCraft game. I used to see my brother playing that. It's cool. I didn't know that. But it's just those connections. It's kind of weird. But yeah, thank you Blizzard for everything that you guys have done. I hope BlizzCon 2024 is a huge plus, and I hope to actually be there this time. And yeah, thank you. Alright, let's move on. Alrighty, everybody. The War Within Epic Edition. This is, I believe, a pre-sale for the next expansion. I don't know what to expect, and it's 40 seconds, so this is going to be uber quick react. So let's see what we get. Dynamic Flying Mount, Algarian Storm Rider. Now, based off of what the War Within is, the mount looks cool. It's just something I wouldn't probably use too much of. But also, for those of you that don't know what dynamic flying means, is some mounts are now going to have technically some sort of like a dragon riding capabilities in the new expansion. So some mounts will have the dynamic capabilities. So dynamic is like the new dragon riding. But Algarian Storm Rider, I just don't feel the color fits the vibes, but let's see what everything else is. Oh. Tell me wrong, bro. We got color variants. Let's go. Never mind. It's a cool mount now. Millions of possible designs. So they're basically taking dragon riding to a whole new level, and I hope they continue to do that. That's kind of cool. Some mounts deserve it. You can't do it with everything, because there's fucking thousands of mounts in the game. But yeah, I mean that's cool. Enhanced boost level 70. Okay. Transmog Storm Rider's attire. Cool. Hearthstone effect. Deep Weller's Earthen Hearthstone. That's kind of cool too. Pet Squally. I love pets, and that's a really cool pet. And a toy Sandbox Storm Griffin. Get the right on that, I'm assuming. 3 days early access. Alright. Base edition, of course. Beta access. Oh, I gotta get it now. And Trader's Tendies. I mean, people hate these things, but bro, they're releasing a game. We are pre-ordering the game, and we're getting technically free goodies. Like, come on, how can you get mad at this? I'm happy, and I'm looking forward to it. Alrighty, everybody. Mauga Origin Story in Overwatch 2, and this was released at BlizzCon 2023, but it's something I have yet to see, so let's check it out. I've played the hero, and if you haven't checked out the gameplay yet, please check it out. Very fun hero to play. Oh, that drink looks so good, bro. That looks so good.
What a day. It's good to be alive. I'm going to let you in on a little secret. I wasn't always the friendly, carefree guy you see before you today. I used to take things very seriously. I never had time for fun. One day I realized something had to change. I needed to work on me. Now I've got a whole new outlook on life. I realized that it's okay to put myself first. Found out that I have a knack for bringing people together. And I learned how to let loose with friends.
I really like this guy.
I work hard I play hard. So, I only have one question for you. Ready to have some fun?
The voice acting and everything to do with this hero is really cool. I like it. I like it. Let me know what you guys think. Ooh, it's a month away. Just roughly a month away. Just under a month away, I think. Let me see, what day is it? A month away. Alright, looking forward to it. Now, we got some big ones to react to. Nothing else that's really quick except Diablo, but I'm reacting to the Diablo stuff last. I don't really play Diablo stuff, so. We got about a 40-minute reacts right now. That'll take us to about 10. This is going to be the BlizzCon War Within. This is yesterday's panel. And then we have a classic, and then we have today's panel. And then we have yesterday's Overwatch panel, and then today's panel, and then we have Rumble from yesterday, and then Hearthstone from yesterday, and Diablo from today. There was not a Diablo yesterday. Okay, that makes sense. Alright. I don't know how many of these we're going to react to. I know, I'll tell you right now, it'll be 2 at the most. So yeah. Let me set this up. Quick. I got a lot of editing to do. Like, holy shit. A lot of editing. Ooh, oh. Wait. No, okay, so I thought. I was like, wait, what's premium about this? Take the regular 1080.
Here's our first presentation.
I wasn't ready for that. Alrighty, everybody. BlizzCon, the War Within. What's next panel for World of Warcraft? We're here to check out everything that was basically shown to us, and this is the first day and the first panel for World of Warcraft, the War Within. The actual expansion and everything else was announced during the opening ceremony, which we've already reacted to, and this was the first panel for World of Warcraft live servers to be done since the opening ceremony. So let's check it out, see what's in store, and about 40 minutes of an enjoyable watch.
Here's our first presentation. World of Warcraft, what's next?
I'm not going to talk too much. I'm just going to enjoy it, sit back with you guys while we're streaming here live on YouTube and Twitch. So let's enjoy this together. For those of you that didn't get to watch it live, get to watch it with me.
4 years have passed since the mortal races gathered together in Anaheim, California.
She.
And now, the drums of BlizzCon thunder once again. Let me hear the thunder! Yes!
That's a lot of people, though.
Ah! Oh, thank you.
What would they have done if they
Thank you
actually
for being
sold
here
out?
with us today. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the World of Warcraft What's Next.
I heard so many people complaining
My name is
about it.
Gregory, and as maybe you may have heard,
Like there was limited, really limited seats.
during the opening ceremonies, we are at the dawn of a new era of Warcraft. The World Soul Saga. A story that will play out over the next 3 expansions and will take us on an adventure in World of Warcraft like we've never experienced before. This saga kicks off
The audio's so
with
off.
War Within. In this first chapter, our heroes will be called on an expedition to the subterranean depths of Azeroth, revealing a new world full of mystery.
There's like no bass to it. It's pissing me off.
There we will confront the shadows below and face new challenges on the battlefield as well as in ourselves. So what is next? During this section, I'll share an overview of the story of the War Within, and then next you'll hear from Maria Hamilton, who will speak to zones and cultures, and then wrapping up with Morgan Day, who will talk about dungeons, the raid, and our new system.
Please get rid of mythic keystones.
In our cinematic reveal,
Or change
you
them.
guys enjoy the cinematic?
The cinematic, bang. That was really nice.
Big shout out to the cinematic team for their work on that. It's just incredible work.
And a big shout out to whoever created this stage, because I've loved it.
Found Anduin Wrynn, who has been wandering alone for the last few years, grappling, lost in his own thoughts, and dealing with the experience that he's been through, as many of you may have remembered. Throughout this and our features trailer, we learned 2 very important developments, starting with these visions. Thrall spoke of a vision calling out from the heart of the world, like a voice from a dream. This radiant song will compel our heroes to investigate its origins, and while at the same time, a darkness has been gathering. Even as the heroes adventured on the Dragon Isles, and in the war within, the mysterious harbinger that Iridikron spoke of will reveal themselves. Xalatath has returned.
Oh. I'm wrong then, from what I've reacted to before.
She is now the harbinger of a new era of the Void's dark machinations. And her message is clear. The Black Empire has fallen. The old gods are dead. And their ancient blood runs deep within the cracks of the world. We, the heroes of Azeroth, destroyed them. The forces of the Horde and the Alliance have proven time and again they are among the most powerful armies that have ever stood. The Harbinger has watched this. She is patient. And while the Black Empire failed, Xalatath now seeks to set in motion the rise of a new dark legacy. One that knows our true strength and will seek to test it against a new threat of terrible power, the Nerubians of Ashkahet.
No, I don't like spiders.
Xalatath has conscripted
The bugs,
Nerubian
same
Queen
shit.
Ansurek, having offered her people a new future, one in which they will rise from their isolation as a mighty kingdom once again. And here in this sprawling city of Ashkahet, we will not find the undead soldiers of the Lich King that we faced before, but instead a new, mighty stronghold of the Nerubians as they once were. Deadly survivors of the mythic wars that have played out.
That's what's cool about it, though. We get to go and visit these guys again.
In return for their loyalty, Xalatath has granted the Nerubians the means of a dark evolution. One that will turn the Nerubians into a new kind of ferocious and terrifying soldier that we will clash against, time and again, in the war within. Now let's talk about who we'll be adventuring with. How do you like the key art? Several of Azeroth's greatest heroes will rise to the call of the Radiant Song, and many will be faced with their own unique challenges. Anduin, having survived his ordeal with domination. Yes, look at the art.
I was gonna say, they made him look really good.
Incredible artwork. Anduin will be grappling with his relationship to the Holy Light that he no longer feels worthy of, while Thrall is seeking a connection to these visions, spreading across the world and working to find his new place in the Horde. While Magni Bronzebeard, long the Speaker of Azeroth, will confront the heavy weight of that responsibility once and for all. Champion! The Wounds Champion! Yes! But that brings us to, I know you saw this in the features trailer, Alaria Windrunner.
Bay, 10 out of 10.
Alaria's
I'd
journey
smash
will be central to the events
any
and
day.
themes of the war within, as she, a void hunter, will use all of her prowess to hunt down the Harbinger while being torn between her own nature and the maddening call of the void to which she is attuned. Along the adventure, she will have a unique rivalry with Xalatath, whose twists and turns will come to define the nature of this new conflict. Of course, we'll see many more familiar faces on our journey and meet a host of new and interesting characters along the way that Maria is going to tell you more about in just a moment. But finally, this saga is only just beginning. Conceived to be... Yes! Conceived to be an epic worthy of the first 20 years of World of Warcraft, the World Soul Saga aims to redefine the storytelling in our expansion set and strike boldly at the core themes that define Warcraft. The might of heroes, the responsibility of that power, the pursuit of justice. Got to do my best Mets in there. Justice! And the importance of finding common ground as well as ourselves amidst adversity. Up next, may I introduce Maria Hamilton, who will be sharing more about our zones and cultures in the war within. Thank you so much.
Pretty good so far, but I mean, again, it's new content, so it's always... We don't know what to expect completely. It's always kind of good to hear new stuff.
Hello, BlizzCon! Wow, I am so excited excited to be here and delighted to represent our team and tell you about the places that we will explore and the cultures we will encounter in the war within. I can't really see all of you out there. I know there's a lot of you though, because I can hear you. And I hope to hear lots of oohs and ahs when you see some of this cool art I've got to show you. So let's get started. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh.
Thank you.
Oh.
Yep. Thank you. Okay. As Taryn mentioned earlier,
Okay.
called by the Radiant Song, dreamlike visions that come from the heart of the Azeroth. This summons is going to lead us to the subcontinent of Khaz-Algar, a place long forgotten.
Why is everything always forgotten?
Recent explorations in Uldaman that we've discovered a Watcher report concerning a contingent of Earthen that was sent to this place long, long ago to investigate a fissure in the sector. What exactly that means, we don't really know, but we could probably speculate. So first, let's talk about the Earthen. Ooh, there you go. There you go.
I'm not really giving you an ooh and ah, but
Forged Earthen before, of course, and
they look
Ulgar and other places.
like what I would expect.
But this society of Earthen has been isolated within Khaz-Algar for a really long time and have developed their own manners and customs. Now, visually, these Earthen are a bit larger in stature, and they're noticeably blinged out. They've got gems all over them, bedazzled, blinged out, you know, that kind of thing, right? But philosophically, they are guided by the Edicts of the Titans, a set of codified orders, duties, and expectations that provide instructions.
They do a really good job doing their
society.
presentations.
You know, Titans, order, all that, right? But the Titans have been absent for eons, and the Earthen are no longer united in their adherence to these edicts. They now exist as three groups that are estranged from each other. The Oathsworn, as their name suggests, still uphold the edicts faithfully and believe everyone else is doing it wrong. Their charge is guarding the Core Way, a Titan passageway that leads right to the core of Azeroth. They're primarily the city dwellers. They live conveniently near the object of their responsibility, that Core Way. Now, the Unbound, in contrast, have abandoned the edicts, and they are considered scandalously rebellious by the Oathsworn. Their original responsibility was providing the materials to keep the Titan installations supplied, and they're primarily rural. They're living in and around the quarries and the mines where natural resources can be acquired. They rarely interact with the city dwellers. They feel neglected and ignored because they have a different opinion on how they should live. Now, the machine speakers have strayed from the edicts in practice, but not with respect to their overall obligation to keep the Titan works functioning. They've had extremely limited contact with the surface dwellers, and they express no little disdain for those who just don't understand the great machines. Their homes are built around vast industrial projects under the surface that allow them to perform their functions in accordance with edicts, more or less. These different perspectives among the Earthen and their variable adherence to the Titan's edicts has weakened the society as originally structured. And that's not good, of course. But a much more serious problem is their steadily dwindling numbers. For reasons that I'm not going to get into here and now, New Earthen can't exist until we help them out by doing some things and unite the Earthen society once more.
Okay.
Happily, as a result of our actions, the Earthen will eventually be unlocked as an allied race. Yeah, that's sweet, don't they?
It makes more sense now.
These player Earthen will replenish the culture's dwindling numbers and may join either the Horde or the Alliance. Yeah.
Oh shit.
It is, of course, player's choice which side you wish to ally.
A dwarf horde. Let's go.
A small sampling of combinations. There's some fantastic variations and customizations coming for the Earthen model.
Now it makes more sense on why they're not just a
beards for all body types,
extra cosmetic to actual dwarfs.
And more. Now that golden mohawk with the braids and the fringe beard, that's quite the look. But I really like the beardless guy with the bushy blonde eyebrows. He looks so cool. He's just kind of like, yep, what do you want me to do? So anyway, all right, moving on.
I like it.
Another cool culture that players will encounter in the War Within is the Arathi. Yeah. Yeah, and you probably have questions, right? So these are descendants of the original Arathorian Empire, and they've arrived relatively recently and through some somewhat mysterious circumstances. And they find themselves trapped here within Khazalgar. Mysterious mostly because I can't say anything more about it just yet because of spoilers, but it's not like spooky mysterious, it's the other kind. As a people, the Arathi are worshippers and wielders of holy fire. They are dedicated to bringing hope and light to the darkness. They're tough, resilient people, with every member of the society being an able combatant. Some few are further blessed with paladin-like abilities through their devotion to the light. Even their airships are powered by sacred flame. The extent to which they're comfortable in battle is probably a good thing, because they have established a home away from home in an enormous cavern bordered by an endless underground sea, from which terrifying creatures emerge to rampage and create havoc. Not my idea of a cool place to hang out, but they're really, really tough. These watery monstrosities, though, are nothing compared to the threat from below. A constant swarm of Nerubians has been held back, so far, from invading the Arathi lands. The assault is unrelenting, the threat is dire, and the Arathi can't hold much longer.
We're really going in a different direction
These
now.
bastions of light against the darkness are far from home and limited in number. Sure would be terrible if there was also division within the Arathi ranks. Just saying. That would be pretty rough, what with them being so outnumbered. We could probably help them.
What does that mean?
Speaking of the Nerubians in the War Within, we'll explore their last kingdom deep within Khazalgar. These ancient survivors of the Black Empire who rejected their former masters have developed their own culture here in the deep darkness.
They look a lot better than actual Nerubians that we're used to.
With the Nerubian queen
They're more humanoid.
who seeks a new future and renewed glory for her people. The Nerubians are extremely capable and devious adversaries who have been honing their skills with their constant assault on the Arathi. But domination hasn't come fast enough for the Queen's taste, as the Arathi has managed to hold against this onslaught. So this deal with the Harbinger has included some assistance for her troops. Through some dark alchemical process, Xalatath has provided the knowledge required to evolve chosen Nerubians into paragons of their race, enhancing their viciousness. And Queen Azurek has embraced these modifications with enthusiasm and eagerly offered her army to achieve the Harbinger's schemes. It appears to be a win-win situation. But not all Nerubians share their sovereign's enthusiasm for change and her embrace of Xalatath. Shadowy figures with far too many limbs maneuver against the Harbinger's plans in opposition to the Queen's desire. As you might expect, any foray into this Nerubian kingdom introduces us to a variety of citizens, including some forms we've never encountered before. Here's a layout of some of the Nerubian models that are completed and also some that are in progress, as well as scale reference for goblins and humans to just get a sense of size. In addition to the Nerubian citizens, there are also domesticated insects who serve the kingdom as beasts of burden and pets. The team is hard at work building out the full range of carapaces, carapae, I don't know, whichever, skittering legs, grabby arms, piercing spiky bits, and creepy eyes for you to enjoy.
That's what I don't like.
Alright, let's talk about our zones. The surface of Khazalgar is our first zone, called the Isle of Dorn. This is the home of the earthen surface dwellers, as well as other native species of creatures. The fertile soil, flowering plant life, and generous waterways provide nourishment for animals in this untouched paradise.
I love it.
An important facet of earthen society is cinderbrew mead. This volatile substance is manufactured from molten honey, produced by enormous fiery bees. Their home groves are a remarkable sight, as the hearts of the trees themselves glow with lava-like fluid. Harvesting is always an exciting time, as the ferocious creatures are understandably protective of their hives. Now the roosts at Storm Watch are wreathed with lightning and fierce winds. These wild elemental rooks may choose to serve a member of the Oathsworn, who if so blessed becomes a Storm Rider, one of the guardian warriors of the earthen people. The Unbound deal with hostile creatures from time to time, but for their most part, the existence is fairly relatively peaceful, fairly sort of peaceful. Their comfortable homes are often situated near the places where they once labored as adherents to the edicts. Those sites are now in disrepair, and in some cases, the lair of other creatures.
I think it looks really cool. I just love stone-based buildings built into the side of mountains. It's really, I don't know why, I just like it.
Is the location of many important civic buildings, markets, traders, and crafters. And it's here that a traveler will find the expected amenities of a capital city, as well as the Titan Causeway, the defense of which is the Oathsworn's primary charge. Now, beneath the surface of the Isle of Dorn lies our second zone, the Ringing Deeps. As the name suggests, it is here that the Earthen are engaged in their work in accordance with the edicts. In these industrial areas of this cavernous space are huge, complicated machines, lava-heated foundries and forges, and waterworks, both to cool and to power huge machinery. Maintaining these Titan mechanisms and keeping everything running is both the responsibility and the passion of the machine speakers. The Earth has shifted too in places, revealing openings to the sky above to the Isle of Dorn. These cenotes bring light and water into areas once shrouded in darkness.
There's kobolds?
Abundant greenery, flowers, and creatures that do not typically dwell in caverns may be found in these idyllic spots. It was really important to us as developers that we delivered the fantasy of the hard-working industry, but still had some break-up areas of natural beauty that don't feel like dark, constrained tunnels. Now, as the machine speaker population has dropped, they've had increasing difficulties with kobold incursions, and indeed the kobolds have taken over the mines, the work areas. They've even built a city of their own. Unexpectedly, the kobolds are actually becoming a force to be reckoned with under the aggressive actions of their leader, the Candle King. You knew it had to be a candle. No take candle. No take candle. With the passage of time, the Earthen have diminished both in number and in the knowledge required to perform the various routines to tune and repair the processes. The old ways have been forgotten, and new creative methods must be employed if the edicts are to be obeyed. So they're kind of making it up as they go along. From the Ringing Deeps, we descend further into Khazalgar to reach Hollowfall, a vast hollow area in the earth, bordered by an endless underground sea. This tenuous foothold under the bright light of an enormous crystal has allowed the Arathi to survive, using their airships to travel to high plateaus and establish docks, light towers, villages, and even a priory. From their capital of Merildar, these trapped people strive to keep hope alive and spread the light, while engaged in a near constant battle with the Nerubians at their borders. The open spaces, the bright light, and the greenery are intended to feel as though we're on the surface, somehow, rather than in this sort of strange hollow within Azeroth. The crystal provides brilliant light, warmth, and growth for vegetation. You may notice that all the blooming plants have opened their blossoms toward the light and seem to be reaching in that direction whenever they're in Hollowfall. Unfortunately, the crystal sun has been changing in recent years.
Ooh.
Where once the light was steady and reliable, it now fades without warning, plunging the Arathi into darkness, save where they have built light towers and maintain their holy flame beacons. In the absence of this light, the dangerous Kobis and other fierce creatures emerge from the sea to rampage. As the Arathi are barely holding back the Nerubians, these unpredictable episodes are incredibly demoralizing and deadly. Happily, the light has always returned to the crystal, so far. And at the deepest descent in the war within, we reach the zone of Azj-Kahet. That almost rhymes. Anyway, the Nerubian city of Threads has been built on the ruins of itself, over and over and over again. As areas decay and crumble, a new district is built upon its ruins, and as a result, the city climbs ever higher. Those Nerubians favored by the Queen,
hate bugs, hate spiders,
or both, command the greatest views and live in the highest places over these swarming masses of the many districts. The Burrows is the home of the scavengers, the forgotten, deep in the decay and the filth. The Umbral Bazaar is a trading hub of fine silks, fascinating alchemical discoveries, and other exotic and hard-to-find goods. The Skaves are the home of the lore keepers and scholars who toil to maintain the history of their people and research myths and legends of Azeroth. There are many other districts and less than savory neighborhoods, both well-known and secret, that the careful adventurer could discover, should they risk life and limb to do so. But the key to such exploration is fitting in among the Nerubians and being accepted, an enterprise best accomplished through skill in the use of pheromones and considerable bravery. The zone of Aj-Kahet features areas of spectacular dark beauty that are inhabited by these creatures that have found a way to live among the Nerubians without being deemed a threat, found to be particularly tasty to consume, or just too much fun to torment. The mobilization of forces to assault the Arathi while also providing military might to achieve Xal'atath's schemes has stirred up all sorts of inhabitants of the darkness. And deep within the city itself,
I wonder how travel's gonna work, because you go deeper and deeper in.
the black blood of the old gods for some unknown purpose. But I'm sure that's fine. And now I'd like to talk a little bit about our zone flow. As I mentioned...
Yep.
Awesome, huh?
Dynamic flying.
Travel from the Isle of Dorn into the Ringing Deeps, into Hollowfall, and then into Aj-Kahet.
Right when I've asked that question.
All of our zones are connected all together using the airlock technology that we developed for Zarelek Cavern, allowing for this seamless descent from the Isle of Dorn all the way to Aj-Kahet. That was video I just captured last week of the transition between the Ringing Deeps and Hollowfall. As you can see, we built for dynamic flight, and we were able to flow directly between the zones without the load screen. There is some seriously amazing swoopy goodness to be had moving across these zones and through these spaces. It feels so cool to burst out of a really tight area and into just a huge drop like that. It's so exhilarating. Now, this blobby map that I've got up here was an early attempt during development of our zone flow to try to figure out how we would stack these zones together and achieve the relationship between their geography and geometry that made sense and felt great to traverse. We ended up with something slightly different than this, but this is pretty representative to explain what the world builders were thinking about when they planned these spaces out. It was really important to our design that while 3 of the 4 zones are technically underground, they didn't feel that way, and that they were distinctly different from one another. We pursued that goal by introducing the natural cenotes in the Ringing Deeps and leaning into the fantasy of the classic underground foundry and industrial workspace. So even in the zone that felt the tightest, there's places that look as though they're actually on the surface. And within Hollowfall, we created a massive hollow space in a cavern so vast it feels like an exterior, with a huge artificial sun in the form of a gigantic crystal. And in Aj-Kahet, we leaned hard into traditional Nerubian architecture with hanging nests and huge palaces built all over a decaying city that just falls away into the depths. And that is the last bit of eye candy I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this peek at what we've got in development. So now it's time for me to introduce you to Morgan Day, who's going to give you lots of information about dungeons, raids, and systems.
No mythic keys, please! No mythic keys. No mythic keys. No mythic keys. Or just change the way and go back to freaking challenge mode where you just get bronze, silver, and gold, please.
Hello, BlizzCon.
Timed mythic keys suck.
My name is Morgan Day, and I'm here to talk to you about some of the upcoming content, features, and systems in The War Within. I'm sure I'll also make some funny faces that I'll regret later in thumbnails, but whatever. First up, let's talk about dungeons. There will be 8 new dungeons coming in The War Within, 4 during level up, 1 in each of the 4 zones that Maria just walked us through, as well as 4 at max level. There's a lot of really cool stuff happening in these dungeons. For instance, we have like a kobold dungeon where you'll meet that Candle King, where there's like a light mechanic that takes place. You have to kind of keep it going to light your way. There's a dragon riding dungeon, of course, but also one of my favorites is the Cinderbrew Meadery, that Maria just talked us through. So this is a dungeon that takes place on our first zone, the Isle of Dorn, which is where you'll experience, all of our earthen buddies, and this is the place where they make that cinder brew mead that she was talking about. They take in all that honey that they gather from throughout the zone to make the mead, to do all kinds of fun and/or nefarious things with.
Kind of cool.
Although I do have to say, I feel like they're a little bit behind the times. I feel like all the kids are drinking that, hard seltzer or something these days, but whatever. They're old school, I get it. Next up, our raid, the Nerubar Palace. So this is an 8-boss raid that will take place in the zone of Aj-Kahet.
That's a good amount of bosses.
This is really the culmination of all of those machinations we keep hearing about that we see play out between the Nerubian Empire, their queen, and her collaboration with Xal'atath. So for this next one, we don't normally show things this early, but I thought it'd be cool to share. On the left there, you can kind of see the top-down view of the raid, and on the right, it's more of like a side cutout. So we like to work on all of our dungeons and raids when they still look like this, as it's much easier to iterate while we're in 2D than it is to kind of change the zones around once we're in the game and it's all blocked out. So to step us through the raid really quickly, after barging through the front door, you'll very quickly fall and/or get knocked into one of those giant pits of that black blood of the old god that you'll hear much more about in Aj-Kahet. And then you'll battle your way through the harvest pits, and then finally traverse your way back up through the stalactite wing, which is not a final name, I promise, until you finally fight your way into the Queen's inner sanctum, where you'll come face to face with her as the end boss. So as you can see, this will kind of feel like a winged raid in terms of the vibes, but in terms of the player experience, it'll actually be quite a bit more linear than what you might be used to for a raid with some winged vibes. So something that I also think is fun to talk about really quick is with all of our dungeons and raids, we like to try to explore what is the thing that's going to make this space feel really unique, that's going to make it stand out from all the other times that we've built these dungeons and raids. And with this space, we really thought that, given that we have the Nerubian to play with, they've got all these amazing webs and silken threads that you can kind of traverse the zone through, we thought it'd be really fun to explore verticality as a major element to this raid. So I think that'll be really fun to see what the team comes up with for that. Next up, let's talk about systems.
Let's go! What do we got? What do you got?
So I want to walk you through some of our features and systems at a really high level, but first I want to talk about some of the philosophies that are really guiding us to add these into the War Within. So first and foremost, we really want to continue to extend the philosophies of Dragonflight into the War Within. And really, when we talk about that, there's 3 main pillars that I want to touch on. First, we really want to make sure that we're focusing on evergreen features. We want to make sure that we're making World of Warcraft better forever and not focusing on things that we know we're going to have to leave behind as we move into future expansions.
Finally. Don't freaking change it every damn expansion.
Next, we want to make sure that there's something for everyone. So whether you're a hardcore raider, a PvPer, a collector, or apparently like Holly, you just love to play tons of alts and run around the world exploring things.
What if I'm everything?
We want to make sure that there's something in War Within that you can really geek out over and that resonates with you. And finally, we want to make sure that we're continuing to build on our philosophy and build on our systems and content with people who play multiple characters in mind. We want to make sure... We want to make sure that we're building all of our systems to really respect the time of the player behind the keyboard and not focusing so much on the accomplishments of that individual character.
That's a huge positive.
So let's talk about delves. Delves are a new feature that will be integrated into the outdoor world experience, where the fantasy of these is actually that you'll be joining the Dragon Scale expedition in their search for lost treasures all across Khazalgar. So delves are an evergreen feature that is really integrated into that outdoor world experience. We want delves to be a new pillar of endgame content for those outdoor world explorers. We really view this as something like when we added world quests back in Legion, where they are going to be really integrated and transformative into that outdoor world, especially that endgame loop. So one of the main reasons I'm stoked about delves is that these will provide an opportunity for us to, give seasonal content and rewards to those outdoor world explorers. So that means things like, rewards that you're used to, like mounts, achievements, titles, but we'll also be adding a outdoor row to the Great Vault with War Within.
More grinding, nice.
So that all of you outdoor world explorers will be
Unless
able
they
to
reduce
share
from something
the
else.
joy of rushing to the Great Vault every week to collect your loot. And there will also be 13 unique delves that will be launching War Within with. And delves will scale from 1 to 5 players and be role agnostic. So that means if you want to play a delve solo, that's totally cool. If you want to go with you and your partner, that works as well. Or you can bring your whole dungeon group in, and delve will scale based on your group size and your roles. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention one of my favorite features of delves, which I think Maria alluded to earlier, which is that there will be an NPC companion joining you on all of your adventures. So for Season 1, that'll be Bran Bronzebeard, as you can see. And Bran will be tagging along with you on all of your delve adventures and will totally never, not even once, aggro a pack of monsters that you didn't want him to. And I don't have my fingers crossed behind my back right now. So Bran will have a customizable talents and mechanics and abilities.
It's just new content. It's just always nice. It's always nice to hear it.
So, maybe you need a little bit of extra healing. Well, you can load Bran out to provide that for you. And finally, you wouldn't be exploring with the Dragonscale Expedition if at the end of every delve there wasn't this massive treasure trove that we need Bran to open for us, which hopefully brought a couple of keys to open some of the chests in there. But before Bran can open that vault for you, you'll need to maybe defeat a boss, maybe you'll solve a couple puzzles, something like that, and then Bran will be able to open that vault door for you. Next up, let's talk about warbands. It's happening! So warbands are a system that we're introducing that will really be the representation of all of your characters across your Battle.net account. Warbands are an opportunity for us to create a platform where you can share your achievements, resources, and all that other good stuff across all of those characters. So the goal of this system is really to be that representation of the philosophy shift that I mentioned earlier about really respecting the time of the player behind the keyboards and not those individual characters. There's actually a ton of additions and modifications. We've talked about a few here. There's no singular UI screen that says warbands. It's more of all these modifications and updates and features are kind of wearing a big coat that says warbands on the back of it. It's how I kind of keep it straight in my head. But just to talk about a couple of those cool features, we'll actually be revisiting the transmog rules of how you acquire those appearances in the War Within. So for all of you who have...
I thought transmog was already account-wide.
So that means all of you who have probably had to run 4 characters through all of those legacy instances just to make sure you're collecting all the appearances, that won't be the case anymore in War Within. You'll just be able to fight it with 1 character.
Now I understand it.
And Holly mentioned this already, but this is obviously one that people are looking forward to. All of our reputations as well as renown in the War Within will be shared across your entire account.
What's the difference? Oh, they're different characters, I'm assuming. Okay.
Last but not least, let's talk about hero talents. So here's a quick mock-up of what the UI will look like that I think really helps explain how these integrate into our current talent trees. But really quick, let's take a look at how this will work. So there will be 3 new hero talent trees per class, and 2 will be available per specialization that you can freely choose and swap between. And also, this is another evergreen feature. This is a system that we think is going to provide a new vector of choice and customization for you and all of your classes, as well as create opportunities for us to really dig into some of those core class fantasies that are, so amazing. So Hero Talents will introduce these new, small, self-contained talent trees like you just saw in the UI. And the way I like to think about it is currently we have two types of talent points, right? We have class talent points and specialization talent points. And now in the War Within, there'll be a third type called hero talent points.
Okay, that makes more sense. I was trying to figure that one out.
Which hopefully explains it a little bit more. This is a warrior, as you can see. These are the three hero talent trees that they'll have available: Mountain Thane, Colossus, and Slayer. And as you can see in the top left, we have Protection, who will be able to choose between Mountain Thane and Colossus. Up on the right, you see Fury. Yep, that's right. Mountain Thane and Slayer are their options. And down at the bottom, Colossus and Slayer are their options. So this is how the majority of our classes are going to look in the War Within. The exception, of course, being Druids and Demon Hunters, who are a bit special, so theirs will look a little different. So let's take a look at how you'll unlock the system, as well as how it'll feel playing through as you're leveling through the War Within. So the system will automatically unlock at level 71, and it'll just kind of appear in your UI. You'll earn 1 talent point per level as you.
Okay, so there is a level up process.
And there are 10 talent points in total, with several choice nodes along the way. So I like to think of this as being similar to like the Legion artifact, where as you were leveling and progressing, you were making some choices along the way, but ultimately you're going to unlock the whole tree. And also, I want to be very clear here. These are extremely low friction to swap between those choice nodes, as well as to swap between the different hero talent trees. So, you know, this should be very analogous to your current talent trees and will follow all the same rules that you used to there. So, you know, at the start of a raid boss, you know, before Mythic Plus starts, before an arena match kicks off, and anywhere in between. And to wrap us up, I wanted to show off a really quick video of what hero talents look like in action. So this is a warrior, as you can see, pop an avatar, jumping in. And this next one is that same warrior with the Mountain Thane talent tree. As you can see, Stormbolt hits multiple targets. There's a couple of cool new V effects, and a lot of other cool stuff going on there as well. I heard some oohs.
I don't play warrior. It's very boring.
Will be happy. So that about wraps us up for our What's Next panel.
Already? Oh, shit. You didn't speak about Mythic Dungeons, my guy.
We hope you really liked what you saw here, and if you'd like to know more, please join us tomorrow at the Deep Dive panel at noon, where Ian will walk you through some of what you saw today in more detail. Woo, Ian! As well as a bunch of other cool new stuff in the War Within. So thank you all so much. I hope you have a great BlizzCon. Bye!
Alright. Overall, I mean, I think it was a huge plus. A lot of positives, a lot of nothing really negative, which is nice to see. A lot of cool new things, a lot of things that we just gotta enjoy and experience when we actually get to utilize it. But overall, very, very cool, very, very fun. I'm looking forward to it. Alright, we're actually gonna do one more. We will do classics from yesterday, and then we'll do some more of these tomorrow. Yeah, but I'm gonna be right back really quick, so catch you guys in a sec.
World of Warcraft Classic.
Alright, we're back. Let's go ahead and do the next one. Alright, we are here with the BlizzCon WoW Classic What's Next panel. This was from BlizzCon's first day of entertainment. Again, this is WoW Classic, not WoW Live. So just to give you all a heads up, we're going to be seeing some classic content here. It's about a 40-minute panel that we're just going to go ahead and watch together for those of you tuning in live. So without further ado, let's go.
Good afternoon, everyone. Here's our next presentation. World of Warcraft Classic. What's next?
Hola, BlizzCon! Hi! My name is Ana Resendes, and I am one of the 2 lead software engineers on the World of Warcraft Classic team. Today, today I will be joined by 3 other of my members of the Classic team. Josh Greenfield, our senior producer. Nora Valera, my fellow lead software engineer. And Tim Jones, our team's lead designer. It is an honor for us to represent the Classic team and talk to you about so many of the things we're working on WoW Classic.
There's a lot of stuff that they're working on for WoW
Let's talk
Classic.
about the Classic journey so far, plus Cataclysm Classic, Hardcore, and a newer season. Season of Discovery. Yeah. So you know, WoW Classic was announced at BlizzCon 6 years ago. And ever since that day, the team worked really hard to bring those precious memories of WoW to you and to me. The Classic journey officially started when you joined us in 2019 back in Azeroth creating a new character. Remembering the importance of having a good wand and being careful of how many mobs you pull at a time. We went through the journey of getting your first mount and feeling like you were riding the most powerful machine, making all those level 10s jealous of your speed. Eventually, we hit 60 levels, and we went on to face some of the most iconic challenges, including the Fire Lord himself, Lord Ragnaros. We ran the Gong of Anchorage and saw new Scar Lords walking among us. We completed our journey at level 60 by adventuring into Naxxramas with 39 other of our friends. In 2021, the Dark Portal opened, and us brave heroes stepped forward into a new world to face the Burning Legion. In Outland, we learned to fly and see the world from a different perspective. And after killing many Talbot, we contested Illidan, and turns out, you know, maybe we were prepared after all. Later on, we explored the coldest continent of Azeroth. We arrived to Nordrend via boat of Zeppelin, and we started hearing about the presence of the Lich King. We became masters of vehicles, and if you're like me, indeed press that red button. Yeah, whoops. All to prepare ourselves for the ultimate combat and defeat the Lich King on top of Ice Crown Citadel. You know, as you heard earlier from our executive producer Holly, our journey will continue into Cataclysm Classic in 2024. The Classic journey started with you.
The best login screen
as a
ever.
love letter to the WoW community. We asked what you wanted, you responded to us, and we listened. And as we move onward, we look to bring new Classic experiences to life, Cata and beyond. We're driven by smart changes as informed by you. So this is Cata for you. You know, but before we talk about all the changes that we're bringing to Cataclysm Classic, let's talk about some of the features that will be returning as your journey to the new level cap to 85. So, Goblins will be joining the Horde, Worgens will be joining the Alliance. Worgens, go! Cataclysm also unlocks a bigger combination of classes and races. For players that like to play as a Night Elf Mage, your time is now. Transmogs are coming back into Cataclysm. Start getting those ideas ready for your next Transmog contest. For the Explorers, there's also where Archaeology makes its debut. And for our PvP fans, Rated Backgrounds are coming back. Yeah, love PvP. The world will be changed after sharding of Deathwing.
It's so weird seeing Cataclysm already.
Big changes to Azeroth nonetheless. Along with graphical improvements, literally thousands of new quests await you across different continents. And of course, you will also be able to unlock flying Azeroth. As the world changes, it comes with some of the most iconic dungeons and raids that you have ever experienced. All in all, this comes with 5 new zones, 10 new dungeons, and 7 new raids. And speaking of those raids, Cataclysm had a hugely varied opening tiers of raiding, including Bastion of Twilight, where after defeating our 2-headed mage Trugal, a surprise appearance from Sinestra awaits. Later, we will venture into Firelands, soaring through rings of fire against Alice Razer, and seeing Ragnaros take his first baby steps. They grow up so quickly. This is just some of what we know, but what are we bringing new to Classic? What's new for Cataclysm Classic? We have seen a ton of positive feedback in the community around the new Titan Room dungeon system in Grad, or as you might know it as Heroic Plus, allowing you new deterministic opportunities to gear up. So we're excited to bring the spirit of those forwards into Cataclysm for you to experience these new takes on Cataclysm dungeons. We will be making updates to the guild advancement system, introducing
Not a huge fan of that new dungeon thing they've been doing in Wrath Classic.
Are not left behind. In past years, we heard from you about wanting to have collections UI in Classic. So we're happy to have introduced that in our final patch of Wrath. And now transmogs will live in it too, and they're gonna be account-wide. So get all those alts together and get all that gear. Classic gives us the opportunity to revisit the cadence at which we release content and patches. I think we all know when a patch has overstayed its welcome, which is why we're excited to announce that Cataclassic will be experienced at a faster rate, faster than the original. And with that, we're also making changes to the leveling speed for new characters to get to level 80. But these are just some of the changes that are coming to Cataclysm Classic. We also have other topics of discussion in the team. But as we said, WoW Classic started as a love letter to the community. And we continue to look to you and you to provide great feedback. So if you're here at BlizzCon, please swing by the Dark Moon Fair that is over there. There's a mailbox where you can submit any questions you have. And for those of you at home, talking to you, there's going to be open threads in all the WoW forums in every region, and we look forward for your thoughts about all things Classic. Thank you again for taking this journey with us as we venture forward into our mysterious future. Speaking of the amazing contributions from the community, let's talk about hardcore. Yeah, hardcore!
Alright, so we're getting Cataclysm Classic. Got that.
So, I have a question for people here. Who here has made it to level 16 hardcore? Yeah, that's very impressive. That's really, really impressive. But, okay, who here has died before level 16 hardcore? Yeah.
Me. 3 times!
Me too. You and I, my friends, that has happened. But in fact, you're not alone. Yeah. You have joined the graveyard alongside all these characters, including those unfortunate hunters. So, here are updated stats from end of last month. And Fairnet's informational data here. I do not have a data table for this, but let's take a look at some reenactments of the 3 most common environmental deaths in hardcore. So, who else was looting that final mob and forgot to take a look at their breath meter? Or maybe you were too busy typing in the chat in Ironforge and became one with the Great Forge.
Nah.
Or you misjudged the distance and gravity gave you a moral reminder. I've been there.
Elevator boss coming in for sure.
Yeah. I mean, these are
No?
dumb ways to die, you know, but on the opposite side, there are so much more heroic ways to die. And we have been super excited to see how players have engaged with our new feature, Duel to the Dead. Mokora. Yeah. We're very impressed by the community events and all the players that have been brave enough to participate in them. It takes a lot. But you know, as Holly mentioned earlier today, we have a new optional rule set coming to Hardcore. So we are excited to officially announce that Self-Found will be coming to Hardcore in early 2024. Yeah. Players that opt into this mode won't be able to trade, use the mail, or use the action house until you reach max level. We hope that you join us to take on this new challenge. So yeah, on behalf of the Classic team, thank you so much for joining us.
What's the difference between Self-Found and
I
Hardcore?
can't wait to see you back in Azeroth. So now, I know everybody wants to hear more about the Season of Discovery, so I'm gonna bring in, my senior producer.
I mean, I understand she said it, but it's like, I don't do it anyways.
Wow, look at this crowd.
So we got Cataclysm
Hello,
Classic,
BlizzCon. My name's Josh Greenfield.
a slight twist to Hardcore Classic.
I'm here to talk to you today about our new season for a classic World of Warcraft, Season of Discovery.
And this is a whole
Today,
new banger.
I'm going to give you an introduction and an overview of what our season is at a very high level, as well as giving you an idea of what our major features are. After this overview, I'm going to hand things off to a few other Classic team members to dig into some specifics about what I'm going to cover. So let's go ahead and jump in. So it seems fitting to start off talking about discoveries. It's in the name after all, so it seems pretty important to the season. When you first start a character in Season of Discovery, it'll look and feel identical to original World of Warcraft. You'll slay kobolds, you'll give lazy peons a bonk, all the kind of normal things you do when starting fresh in World of Warcraft. When you get to around level 2, however, in the starter zone, your class trainer will offer you a new quest, and this is to go find your first rune. We'll talk about runes in a little bit more in a minute, but after that intro quest, the game simply tells you, go find more. And that's kind of where discoveries come in. Discoveries are essentially secrets hidden throughout the game world. They usually aren't quests in the traditional sense. There's nothing on your map to show them to you. This is classic after all. And some may be as simple as a treasure coffer deep in a kobold mine, but many are small events kind of unto themselves, oftentimes requiring more than one player, a little bit of creativity, or some keen observation skills to obtain. One of the things we love about Azeroth is the sense of awe and wonder it inspires.
They're basically bringing Secrets of Azeroth back, and I fucking hated that event.
Original WoW, it can sometimes feel a lot smaller than it did when we first started our adventures. Discoveries are a way to disrupt that a bit. Keep the world familiar, comfortable, but add enough new things to find to evoke that sense of adventure and exploration.
Should have just called it Season of Secrets of Azeroth.
Beyond the next hill, deep in the next crypt or cave, something exciting could be hidden. One other thing we love about discoveries is this social and information sharing aspect. For those first few weeks of each phase, we hope to find secret finding communities pop up, both in and out of game, as players scour Azeroth to find all these little hidden things. We can't wait to read general chat as players begin sharing what they found with each other in real time. We think that social and info sharing aspect is super exciting, and we can't wait to see how long it takes for all these little secrets to be found. In order to preserve this sense of discovery, we will not be holding a public beta or PTR for Season of Discovery. Thank you, yeah. We want day one of Season of Discovery to feel as fresh and full of surprises as we can. So we're taking a chance here to keep those first few weeks as exciting as possible. The last thing we'll say about discoveries now is that we wanted to craft them in a way that really felt at home in original WoW. Many times when playtesting amongst ourselves, we'd find a new NPC or an object, and someone would hesitate and say, like, is this from 2004? Is this new? And we're like, yeah, it's new. That's new to the season. And to us, that's a great success. The idea here is that these things feel as like a natural part of Azeroth as it was at this point in WoW's history. Next, let's talk a little bit about level-banded content phases and what that means. In essence, level-banded content phases are how we're going to approach the level-up journey in Season of Discovery. When we initially launch, the level cap in Season of Discovery will be level 25. After a number of weeks, the level cap will increase to a higher level for the next phase. So, why a level cap of 25 to start with? Well, our inspiration for this actually came from the WoW Classic Beta in 2019. We saw how much fun the game was when the level was capped at a lower level, and how players would find new and exciting talent and item combinations to optimize around. And this is something we've always looked back fondly on, and it's something we've wanted to sort of explore ever since. We also realized how approachable an initial lower level cap could be. We talk a lot internally about approachability on WoW Classic and respecting players' time. There's a major goal of this level-banded approach to really give you a chance to get into it. One of the things we really consistently see on forums or social media too is it too late to start? And oftentimes we'll hear this literally within a day or two of a new release. And obviously, it's never too late to start playing Classic WoW. But as we've all, grown into additional responsibilities and found ourselves spending maybe a little less time playing games than we used to, we can definitely feel that sense of kind of fear of missing out, or FOMO, when we log in after a long week and see our friends 10 or 20 levels ahead of us. And for that, this level-banded approach is perfect. There will be plenty to do in each new leveling journey, from the quests and dungeons and battlegrounds we all know and love, to finding all the brand new things to discover across Azeroth. And then later on, leveling new alts to find all of their hidden discoveries as well. There's lots to do, but we're hoping that you won't ever feel that sense of being behind just because you couldn't play on a given day. We also plan to give a very sizable experience boost to the previous level band every time we raise the level cap. This is kind of similar to Joyous Journeys in Wrath Classic, if you're familiar with that. So even if you miss a phase or once a level an alt, you'll be able to catch up to your friends in no time. So the next thing we want to talk about is in-game at level cap. So when we kind of decided on this level-banded content approach, we had to kind of sit down and ask ourselves, what is in-game when the level cap is 25? And first, I think it makes sense to talk a little bit about our inspiration. And this is something we really keep coming back to a lot on Classic. Since this is a version of original WoW, we wanted to start out grounded in familiar locations and put the focus for the new stuff on fresh gameplay and mechanics in those iconic dungeons and locales. To that end, our first raid in Season of Discovery will be the iconic dungeon, Black Fathom Deeps, reimagined as a 10-player raid instance.
That sounds kind of cool.
Thank you. Next, one of our main goals is to ensure that these are fully featured, deep, satisfying raids, and not simply the addition of a few mechanics to existing encounters as they were in 2004. All of these encounters are a full ground-up redesign and should feel like proper raid encounters. And of course, with new raids comes lots of new loot. In addition to raids, we also really want to play up that PvP aspect, and as a result, we're planning to add several outdoor PvP events to the game as the level caps increase. Thank you. Lastly, one of the things we're most excited about is where we go when we start getting to higher levels. We are leaving the door open to the possibility of completely new experiences and the prospects of exploring previously unfinished or unused locales for future raid and dungeon content. Oh, sorry, getting level 60. I know, I'm excited too.
Stuff that didn't get released.
We think that level 25 is going to be full of great, memorable gameplay that feels right at home in original WoW, but this is just the first step, and we think the best is yet to come. So next, let's kind of change gears and talk about rune engraving a little bit. So this is one of the most exciting new things about Season of Discovery. One of the most consistent pieces of feedback we've gotten from previous iterations of original WoW, such as our Season of Mastery, is that many players would like to try some adjustments to their favorite class or spec. We really wanted to take a chance with Season of Discovery and go kind of wild here, and we did. That's where rune engraving comes in. Rune engraving is a new skill that all Season of Discovery characters know automatically on character creation. Rune engraving allows you to gather, learn, and apply new class abilities directly to your equipment, kind of like enchants. In the initial 1 through 25 experience, you'll be able to discover runes in your chest, legs, and glove slots. And as the level cap increases, additional runes for other item slots will be discoverable over time. Once learned, runes are permanent and can be applied and reapplied to your gear at will, just out of combat. One of the most exciting things about these runes is that they exist completely outside of the talent system, meaning that you could very realistically splash in damage abilities with a healing talent spec so you can solo a little bit better, or you could swap maybe to tanking ability runes to round out the tank spot in your 5-player group if you're missing one. You may also encounter previously faction-specific paladin and shaman buffs as runes, which helps bring some parity to each faction without those classes losing their unique flavor or the factions losing their unique flavor. In order to also streamline the talent system to go along with runes, we do plan to adjust the respec cost to be much more nominal in Season of Discovery, particularly at low levels. And
that got really expensive in Classic.
Who knows, maybe, just maybe, someday, you won't be constrained to just one talent spec in Season of Discovery. Who knows? So, overall, we've been playing this a ton internally. We've been having so much fun with it. It's everything we love about Classic, plus so much more. At this, I'd like to hand this over to one of our lead software engineers, Nora Valletta, to talk about some specific abilities you may encounter on the different classes, as well as to talk a bit about our PvP plans for Season of Discovery. Take it away, Nora.
So far, so good. A lot of new stuff, which is overwhelming for me, but very good so far. I love it. You see the screens that they look at to read off of.
My name's Nora Valletta, and along with Anna, I'm a lead software engineer on WoW Classic.
What sucks about that is I would not be able to read those screens, even with my glasses.
There are over 100 runes in the 1 to 25 leveling bracket across all classes, and we'd love for you guys to go forth and discover them on your own. However, to give you an idea of what to expect, I have a few to share with you today. First things first, I want to share some of the things we had in mind when designing runes in Season of Discovery. One is to shake up the meta. Our seasonal content is a great opportunity to deliver WoW Classic, but with a twist. With our non-seasonal content, we try to deliver a Classic experience close to the original, but with Seasons, we have the freedom to experiment with what-if scenarios, such as, what if rogues could tank? What if paladins did have a taunt? On that point, we wanted to introduce abilities such that each class has something special, something that other classes can point to and go, dang, that's so cool, I wish I could do that. Many of the runes you find are greatest hits remixes of popular abilities from various WoW expansions, so many of them will be familiar to you. That said, some of these familiar abilities may actually behave a little differently than you remember. Some spells and abilities you'll discover have never been introduced before in any WoW expansion. For these, we were careful to make sure they were an appropriate fit for class fantasy. Most importantly, we want Classic to continue to feel like Classic. Many of the iconic spells and abilities you've seen in various WoW expansions feel fitting for that expansion or fitting for modern WoW, but would feel out of place in Classic, so we tried to avoid introducing anything with a too modern feel and made adjustments wherever it made sense. Anyways, enough of that. Let's take a sneak peek at some of those abilities.
Show me something for Warlocks for once. No, where's Warlocks?
In Season of Discovery, you have an interrupt called Skull Bash, which can be used in cat or bear form. Fury of Storm Rage removes the mana cost of Wrath. Dealing damage with Wrath has a chance to make your next healing touch instant. Wild Growth applies a heal over time effect to your target and up to 5 nearby party members.
That boring as fuck.
Beast Mastery will increase your pet's damage, health, and focus regen. Growl is now a proper taunt. Explosive Shot is a ranged damage over time ability, and Lone Wolf gives you a damage boost if you have no active pet. Pair this with dual wielding, and you've got yourself a mean melee hunter. Mages. Ice Lance is an instant frost spell that deals triple damage to frozen targets. Living Flame causes flames to erupt and chase a nearby enemy, leaving a burning trail in its wake. And regeneration is a heal, which marks your target with a temporal beacon. Another rune ability called Rewind Time will heal the damage taken over the previous 5 seconds. You can heal other people with this, by the way, not just yourself, so I hope you've made room on your roster for mage healers. Paladins. In WoW Classic, they don't have a taunt, but here it is in Season of Discovery. Hand of Reckoning is your taunt. Knowing this ability will also increase the threat bonus of Righteous Fury and cause you to gain mana when healed by other players. Crusader Strike is a weapon attack. It's a weapon attack which costs no additional mana and instead regenerates your mana slightly with each hit. And Seal of Martyrdom can be activated to cause melee attacks to strike other nearby targets. You'll lose health when inflicting damage with this. However, nearby party members will gain mana based on the damage you take. Priests.
No, where's Warlock?
You can channel Penance to heal nearby friendly targets or deal damage to enemy targets. Prayer of Mending heals your target the next time they take damage or receive healing. Afterwards, it'll bounce to another friendly player nearby. Homunculi animates 3 miniature copies of your character, which will attack your target with a mace, a sword, and an axe, reducing their attack speed, attack power, and armor, respectively. Rogues. From Stealth, Shadow Strike allows you to teleport behind your target and strike for a nice big chunk of damage. Envenom is a finishing move. It deals poison damage based on your deadly poison doses on the target, and also increases the frequency of applying instant poison for some time afterwards. Just a Flesh Wound is our rogue tank ability. You generate way more threat, you take reduced physical damage while Blade Dance is active, you're less likely to be critically hit by melee attacks, and your Feint ability turns into a taunt called Tease. Shamans. Lava Lash deals offhand weapon damage. Offhand. In Season of Discovery, enhancement shamans can dual wield with the help of another rune not pictured here. Happy hunting. Healing Rain is a gradual AoE heal that can be placed on the ground, or on a lamppost, or on the ceiling. Way of Earth allows you to perform the coveted role of Shaman Tank. With this, you'll deal increased threat, you'll take less damage, and Earthshock becomes your taunt. Warlocks.
Yes, let's go! What do we got?
Haunt deals damage, increases all shadow damage you deal to the target, and heals you for the damage it dealt once it's dispelled or expired.
I don't play Affliction, fuck it.
Chaos Bolt sends a big beefy bolt of fire at the enemy. It always hits.
Give me
it
something
can't
new.
be resisted, and it causes all of your fire spells to pierce through absorption effects. And Metamorphosis.
Let's go, it's back, boys!
This is your shapeshift, allowing you to transform into a demon, similar to a druid's bear form, increasing your armor and reducing your chance to be critically hit. Searing Pain becomes instant, Shadow Bolt becomes a melee cleave, and Curse of Recklessness is your taunt. Warriors. Victory Rush is a weapon attack that can be used after killing an enemy. It will heal you for a certain percentage of your health. Devastate will cause your Sunder armor to deal main hand weapon damage, increased for each stack of Sunder armor already on the target. And Raging Blow is a vicious strike that deals heavy damage, but can only be used while enraged. Now this is just a taste of all the abilities coming to classes in Season of Discovery. And really, bottom line, we want everyone to feel OP.
They're using some pretty dank memes, boys.
Anyways, enough about runes. Let's instead turn our attention to the ancient forest of Ashenvale in northern Kalimdor. Ashenvale is known for its beauty, its rich natural resources, and its role as a hotly contested territory between the Horde and the Alliance. In Season of Discovery, earning kills while in Ashenvale will trigger a zone-wide PvP event. During this event, A leader will appear in the zone for each faction, a Farseer for the Horde, and a Priestess of the Moon for the Alliance. Your objective is simple. It's to defeat the enemy leader. Now this is easier said than done. These leaders are tough, so you'll have to work together to take them out. In addition to the main camps where those faction leaders reside, various other camps will spawn across the zone for each faction. The Priestess of the Moon and the Farseer are each buffed by respective leaders in those smaller camps. The more of those small camps you can take out, the weaker your enemy's faction leader will become. Sounds familiar. It's much like Alterac Valley. This event is an awesome way to earn honor, as well as reputation with Warsong Gulch factions, which allows you to unlock some of the best level 25 gear in the game. You'll also be able to earn a mount, which you can actually use at level 25, but only in Ashenvale. It will increase your speed by 50%, giving you the extra boost you need to seek and destroy the enemy. So, come kick some ash in Ashenvale. I'll see you there.
That's a cool event. I'm not gonna lie. It's so simple and it's really nice.
Anyways, I've done enough talking. It's time for me to pass things off to Tim, who's gonna talk to you about raids and the PvE endgame. Take it away, Tim.
Thank you, Nora. Hey, BlizzCon! My name is Tim Jones, and I'm the assistant lead designer on World of Warcraft Classic. Woo! Multiplayer content is the heart of World of Warcraft. Whether we're questing together, running a dungeon, crafting an item for a friend, or chatting in Guild about where to find that new Metamorphosis rune for Warlock, WoW offers one of the richest multiplayer experiences across all of gaming. And Season of Discovery aims to deliver on providing new group content that's both challenging and rewarding. Now first, I want everyone to take a moment with me and imagine, alongside the Zorm Strand on Ashenvale's north coast, lies the ruins of an ancient elven temple to the goddess Elune. Evil stirs within, drawing the likes of the Naga and the Twilight's Hammer in search of power and anything that could hasten the coming of the old gods. You know, maybe you've been here before, maybe not. No matter your familiarity with this place, it's hard not to be drawn in by the mystique.
Really cool that they're doing. I want to play this.
Ecology of Black Fathom Deeps. Now, on the classic team, we
Ashenvale
ask ourselves,
is the end game zone.
Amazing location
That's
more
cool.
than just a 5-player dungeon. So we're excited. Get your level 25 Prebis, equip your runes, find 9 of your best friends, and get ready. The classic team is proud to announce level up raids. New instance challenges for raid groups to experience the max level for each of Season of Discovery's content bands. Woo! At level 25, Black Fathom Deeps is the first level up raid that you'll experience in Season of Discovery. Groups should be easy to form. Grab a couple tanks and healers, make a party of 10, you're good to go. God knows, everyone and their mom can tank and heal in Season of Discovery now, so that shouldn't be a problem. And content phases in Season of Discovery won't be as long as traditional classic expansion patches either. And we want you to have as many opportunities to explore and plunder the riches within. And as such, Black Fathom will offer a 3-day lockout, much like the raid Zul'Gurub.
Bro, Warlock tank. I really want to go back to my roots of my MOP days. Dark Apotheosis.
And rewards are brand new. 7 new bosses are here to both entertain and test your skills. And how could we not make raid content without new loot? Existing quests and rewards have also been updated for the raid as well. And you'll even be able to find secrets within the raid. Can you solve the mystery of the Twilight Artisan? Can you find the recipes for the Black Fathom Sharpening Stones and Wizard Oil? And will you be the first group to access the new world buff, Boon of Black Fathom? Ooh. Okay. I love your guys' enthusiasm. This is amazing. let's peek behind the curtain at what challenges await players in Black Fathom, you know, or as we affectionately call it, BFD, not to be confused with BRD or BFA or BWL or BWD. You guys get the idea. Baron Aquinas, he guards the entrance. No longer a simple quest NPC. You must challenge his elemental lieutenants that inhabit the Fathom Stones and defeat him. And in doing so, you may face off against Aquinas himself atop the infamous jumping puzzle. You know, and jump you must to get in range of the Baron, but beware both the boss and your teammates, because there are many a peril that may knock you off. In all honesty, this boss is lightly tuned, and there are some hidden power-ups below the water to help you return to the platform. Next off, you must face against Gamura, the fearsome turtle that's been swimming in the enchanted waters of the deeps for a long, long time. You know, exposure to these energies has granted her both power and size, but most importantly, she's now protected by a magical barrier that protects her against almost any attack. Break through this barrier and start blasting for massive damage. Get your orange parse. You know, all this commotion will bring you to the attention of Lady Saraves, a powerful and reckless Naga sea witch who commands a legion of Black Fathom elite in Myrmidons. She is a formidable foe that will overwhelm you unless you find a way to turn her own spells against her and her minions. Now, these three bosses round out the prologue of Black Fathom Deeps, and in all three are available to fight in our demo in Hall D. Check it out.
I wanted to play.
And that's not it. Witness the corruption of Gelihast and take on the march of the Void Murlocs. Break past Lorgus Jet's magical barriers and corrupted totems. Conquer your dreams as you challenge Twilight Lord Kelris. And good luck against the giant Void Hydra. Seriously, you're going to need it. And not to forget, there will be glittering prizes awaiting you, including some of these fancy items. Now, telling you all this is great, but I think we'd rather just show you. So it is my pleasure to provide a quick sneak peek video of the raid, edited by the team itself, as though it was pulled straight from a community website in 2005. Please take a look.
I like turtles. Such a good dungeon to do a raid in as well. It's a warlock tank. I have a feeling warlock tanks are gonna be OP. Like really good.
Well, that's it for today, guys. We're looking forward to. Oh, okay. That shouldn't be here. Okay. That should definitely. Okay. Sorry. We should have. Okay.
Sneaky sneakies.
Oops. That's it for today. On behalf of the Classic team, and as Anna mentioned at the top,
Those were sneak peeks into what the next level caps were
WoW
going to be.
Classic would be possible without all of your support and your voice. Thank you so much for making the dream of WoW Classic and all the experiences we're working on a reality.
A lot of new stuff. I'm loving it.
We can't wait to see what else we have in store for the future. We can't wait for you to see. So please stay tuned for Hearthstone, what's next, coming up right after this. And we hope you have enjoyed this look ahead at what's next for WoW Classic. I want to reiterate, this is just a taste of all that you're going to uncover in Season of Discovery. And for those of you here at BlizzCon, we hope you get to take on the first 3 bosses of our Black Fathom Deeps raid on the show floor. And for everyone else, we're so excited for you to experience it when Season of Discovery launches worldwide in just a few short weeks on November 30th.
That's so close. I gotta make sure I do my work on my other games. Alright, so we are gonna be right back and load up some WoW. Alright, not going to do anything too heavy today. I said I might level a character. I've decided no. I'm going to do some work outside of streaming before I go to sleep. So, bear with me. But let's get back on my main again. We're pretty much done on this guy, but I want to just make sure like we're continuing, see if there's like any little bits that I can do before we get into the new patch next week. There's a couple things that I could try to get done, but whether or not I have access to them is another question. So we're gonna check that out right now. I'm just looking over the maps. See what's in store. Okay, so that's still going on in Waking Shores. So we can try to find a nakey danky. Not finding anything, which is good. Right, nothing there. Go to the bank really quick. Actually, let's go vendor really quick. And then head on over to the bank. Yep, bank it is. How's this dude doing? Nice. Don't see anything in there. I'm gonna bring out my target macro, so I know to do that stuff. PvE done for the season, PvP done for the season, pet battles nothing to do right now, professions nothing to do right now, endgame events nothing, achievements, collectibles, and classic. Time rifts, no. Zarelek, no. Tuskar, no. Reps, no. Alright, cool. So simple, very simple stuff to do right now. Oops, we can put those in as well.
Thank you for browsing.
Reload. Alright, so let's go look for some rares really quick. And then we'll do some treasures. But first, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I know there's one right outside, but head on back really quick.
Let us discuss business.
Alright, so what rares do we have on this list? Breeze, Caro, Invoke. These are rares that I need to kill. So let's go do One first. Or look for One first. He's one that has a chance at spawning in Awakened Shores, and with the Dream Surge up, it does have his spawn rate increase. Whether we find him or not, we don't know. Does not look like he's going to be up at all. Let's do a quick little spam. These all Tuskar. Smog Swags, of all things, just got spawned. I'm gonna go ahead and search for. Yeah, there's a lot of spawns right now. Ooh, Carenton, if I'm not mistaken. That's one of those. Okay, so there's a storm that just appeared. I'm gonna stay in this zone for a little bit and see if we can get Onik to spawn. What else was I gonna do? I was gonna check something. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna look for some treasures while we're here. That's what I was gonna do. See if there's a group. And there isn't. This isn't the greatest zone for treasures, by the way. You would think it is, it's the fucking Dragon Scale base camp, but they don't know anything. This one always up. Alright, don't need this. Make sure that stays up there. I do need one more treasure, right? Treasures of Valdrassus. Sandy wooden duck. Interesting. I might not need to do treasures for this. Give me a second. Interesting. So this might be a clickable fucking... I might be done. Shit. I've been hunting treasure maps for this. I think you can get this treasure map an easier way. It's not like a normal treasure map. And I'm gonna go find out right now. Sadly, I gotta go to Thadrassi still.
The rivers of the waking shores are teeming with life today, but I'm busy answering fan mail. Think you can catalog the wildlife for me?
Fenran's always up. What is up with that rare spawn? No, I'm gonna land. I believe, yes. Okay, cool. I found the NPC. Now, is there a clickable map next to you? So this is Yenu. I mean, I hid one of my toys. Big sandbox over there. Scribbles. So this is the map. Are you kidding me? I've been trying to get this map. Oh my gosh, I've been trying to get this map. Just like every other map. I've been trying to get this map just like every other map. I am so disappointed right now. Because every other map you gotta go treasure hunting. This one's different.
Creatures and relics from the past.
Has a test her a lot, but it's not bad.
Collect any artifacts you can find before they are lost
Is that
in
it?
timeways.
Oh, bro. Are you kidding me? I'm done. Oh, thank God. I am done. I'm shocked, but I'm done.
Our flight has much to offer.
I can't believe I just did that.
This is when you leave.
So we can take treasures off. Lunkers. Alright, so let's go try. So now we just got rare spawns. I am done with all possible treasures in this expansion. Alright, let's go see if Breeze is up. We're gonna check all the rare spawns and we'll do Onank one more time. But, yeah. Bear with me. And that's pretty much it. That's all we're gonna do today. Short, simple, sweet. I'm just shocked I just got that achievement. I'm done. All treasures are completed. Alright, Breeze, are you up? Nope. Oh, no group. It doesn't mean he's not up. It's just he's no group. So expect some more BlizzCon tomorrow, team.
These gnolls have been harassing us for generations. It pains
Tomorrow I'm going to do a lot of
their
editing.
chieftain must
Try to get these videos out quick. I cannot find Breeze. I'm surprised Breeze isn't up, because there's not really anyone playing WoW at the moment. In his cave. He is not. So there's no storm here. There's no storm here. There is no storm here. But there is a storm here. And there's a different rare up. So, Breeze, we cannot find. It does drop a mount, by the way. Caro and Invoke are the next two that we can try to find. So, let's go to Zarlek. But again, Breeze is a no. I see neither Invoke nor Caro. There it is. We're going nope, video south. Alright. Is Caro not up? Is Caro up? Is Caro not up? It's not showing me that Caro is up. Huh? Oh, you have.
Oh my, this place is overrun with giant snakes. I don't know.
But say you have fucking Wormwood on, you dumb donkey.
Bombs hit the parents and then go right for the Yanks.
Invoke, no. Breeze, no. I'm too lazy to go turn on Wormwood right now. Now you put Wormwood on. Alright, and then I'm just gonna go look for Invoke just in case. He might actually be up and I might not be able to kill him. And then that proves to me I just don't need to bother. Breeze drops him out, Caro drops him out, Invoke drops a toy. Sad vibes. And he's not up. Okay. So what other rares do we have left? So no Breeze, no Caro, no Invoke. I'm gonna try Onank and Iceblade Trio one more time. And then as for Lunkers, I ain't doing those yet. I just have them on my to-do list. Otherwise, we're going to be done for the night. Keep it simple. I'm going to start working on the editing process, but do the big chunk of it tomorrow. But we're going to go back to Waking Shores to see if Onank or Iceblade Trio's up. But other than that, thank you all very much for dropping by. I was glad and happy to be able to get that treasure done. But, yeah, so, I don't see Onank. Elemental Storm's still up. Don't see any rare spawns getting highlighted. Try this one more time. No group for them. Sad times, but I'm gonna log my character out here just in case I do come across it tomorrow when I wake up. Sadly, he's not up, but I'll catch you all tomorrow. Peace out, team.